Do you dream of being successful? Then you must really want it. Want it as badly as your next breath. To go after it with a clear vision, fueled by a burning desire for nothing less. Willing to take the ultimate risk and face the possibility of failure head on. To dare to believe you are in the league of those who achieve greatness. Driven by passion, perseverance, and an unwavering confidence in their ability to triumph, the successful set their course, transforming themselves from arrogant to humble, lazy to hardworking, negative to positive, unhappy to happy, ungrateful to grateful, pessimistic to optimistic, and unlikable to likable. They become the mercurial ones who never quit, constantly thinking and behaving like winners. So think big and dream even bigger, but always embrace the magic of tiny steps, knowing each one will move you closer to your goal. Be persistent even when the odds are against you and the task seems insurmountable. Speak positively about yourself and others. Never stop learning. Smile even when no one is watching. Give without expecting anything back. Demand excellence from yourself. Take responsibility for everything that happens. Practice integrity. Always do what you say you will do. Face adversity head on. Nothing can stand in your way, and no one can stop you. Become that unstoppable runaway success train. Be an innovator, a job creator, and always remember you are made to do great things. You can adapt, you can change direction, but you must never, never surrender.
All right, a very good morning to South Africa. A great morning, a great day. It's been a fantastic week, of course. My name is Mike Anderson. I'm the head of NSBC, and it's an absolute privilege for me to play host to the most important small business day of the year, which is, of course, Absa Small Business Friday. And I know many of you have been at the Business Show Africa over the past 2 days. Tell us in the chat line, if you can, how was your experience? Was it worthwhile? Did you gain some knowledge? Did you meet some potential colleagues or funders? Give us your insights. It's always nice to hear that. So for those of you at the Business Show Africa yesterday and the day before, thank you for that. We are super excited. The success behind it was amazing. And of course, another great experience. And nothing more better could happen than, of course, to end the week off with Absa Small Business Friday. And for those of you out there who don't know the meaning of Absa Small Business Friday, it's the most powerful movement in the world that mobilizes the nation to go big by supporting the small. Because quite simply, if you and I can go out there and support our local small businesses, these small businesses will build infrastructure, employ more from the local communities, hence meaningful nation building. So please, everybody, when I wake up every morning, I make a point of making sure that every day I'll go out there and I'll support 1, 2, or 3 small businesses. And that's nation building. So please go out there and support local small businesses, because that's what it's all about. So this morning is exciting. Absa Small Business Friday, many years in the making now. And of course, it's an exciting lineup. First of all, we've got, I want to thank Absa as a group for what you do for small businesses, and of course for being the headline sponsor of the most powerful movement of its kind. Just in a few seconds, I'm going to bring up Vignesh Subramani, who's the head of sales and distribution of SME business for Absa, a friend to the NSBC. He's personally committed to small business in a very big way. Then, of course, after that, I'm going to bring up 2 special guests from the SME environment, amazing stories. So please stay with us. But before I ask Vignesh to come on stage, I'd like you to listen to a great story and watch a great story for a few minutes from Absa.
There's no one that can convince me to stop what I'm doing and what I believe in. I've invested a lot of years into this, So I want to see the utmost success from it. My name is Bonang Kau. I'm a co-founder of a brand called Relate. So we're not initially starting this to call it our clothing brand. We started this just for our friends to say, let's wear this together. So people started asking about it, like, where can we get this? And then from there, that inspired us to actually register a business and take this thing seriously because the demand was there. Correct. We started with 10 caps and then it grew into something bigger and better. Fashion, clothing, something that we love, so why not make a business out of it? Absa believes in young businesses, it believes in businesses like ours that can change the world, that can do things that are different. So for Absa to come in and say, guys, we really believe in what you're doing, we like what you're doing, we want to help you. And for us to be able to put ourselves in a position as a small business to be working with Absa is a very, very big milestone because Absa comes with the resources, they come with finances, they come with enterprise development, which is more than, for me, in my personal opinion, more than finances, because enterprise development is how they work with us step by step to develop us and help us with the things that we need,
Look, for me, what makes me happy is seeing the growth cycle of a SME. A guy coming into the door, first time you meet him, he's chasing a dream, right? And for us is how do we plug in and make that dream a reality? Every SME has a different story. So it's upon us, when you meet up with every SME, to allow them the space and the time to really articulate what their story is, to really articulate what the dream is. The emerging entrepreneur and the women proposition that we have is quite unique because it is tackling these two sort of spheres within our population. As Absa, we have a responsibility as well to help out with the social ills, and hence we came up with this emerging entrepreneur proposition, which is directly aimed at the youth.
Our ultimate dream and vision is to open up a factory where we can mass produce these garments daily, where we can have and train young people to have the skills to be able to compete in international markets. So why not do it with a partner like Absa who will walk the story with you and allow you to tell your story, No, I want to thank Absa for obviously believing in us. I mean, you don't work with someone you don't believe in, you don't work where you don't see there's potential for growth. So I'd like to definitely thank Absa for believing in us and seeing our vision.
Great video, inspirational. Thank you for that. And of course, thank you to all our attendees. Before I call Vignesh on stage, I just want to say, technology, things happen. So if something goes wrong, if you lose one of us or all of us, don't leave us because we will be back. And hopefully this morning, nothing's going to go wrong, but just a message, it's important. And remember the chat box. If you've got any questions, if you've got any positive comments, if you've got any inspirational messages, pop them onto the chat. This is all about positivity this morning. And of course, we want you to be involved. Now, very importantly, first of all, I'm not going to call the SMEs on stage yet, but I'm going to ask Vignesh if he wouldn't mind joining me on stage. Vignesh Subramani, Head of Sales and Distribution, SME Business, Absa. Vignesh, a friend to the SME, a powerhouse behind small business, you personally, and of course, Absa. Thank you for what you do. We're truly grateful. It's because of people like you and Absa, we can do what we do, help businesses out there, stay in business, grow, and of course, importantly, employ others. Vignesh, a very big welcome.
Good morning, Mike, to you, to the NSPC, and all of our listeners today and viewers today. It's really great to be here. It's been a busy week for SME. It's been a busy week for our business as well. Just coming out of the Small Business Show, the Business Show Africa over the last couple of days, and now getting straight into Small Business Friday, which is the biggest Friday of the year for us. Really to go out there and support small businesses. It's really great to be here. Thanks for having us, Mike. And when you're watching this video, you'll see that really two things that really come out is all of these business stories matter, which aligns to our purpose to empower Africa's growth, one story at a time. It really is really important for us. I think the second element, as you'd have seen in the video as well, we're really proud to announce that we've been named the best bank for SMEs in South Africa by Euromoney Awards, which is a real feather in our cap. And again, we have the firm belief it's also because of our big focus within SME and how we see SMEs as a vital part of our strategy. So really great to be here, Mike. Thanks for having us.
Well, Vignesh, you're not only the major player behind the biggest small business day of the year, but you're also the major player behind the Business Show Africa. So to all our attendees out there, it's a great week for Absa, for the NSBC, and we couldn't be here if it wasn't for people like Vignesh and of course Absa. So what a way to end off the week, really, to mobilize our nation. And of course, as we know, Vignesh, business owners aren't only business owners, they're also consumers. So it's also about the consumer out there to change the mindset. When we have a responsibility. I was telling Vignesh offline earlier on, I did a BBC interview just over a week and a half ago, and they did a global survey, Vignesh, and that their survey findings show and prove that the South African business owner is the most resilient in the world. And that to me is so exciting to understand. And in my experience, like probably yours too, Vignesh, when I travel around the country and I talk to amazing, the township economy, small business everywhere, they just keep going. And of course, that's the message behind what's important. Now, Vignesh, what we're going to do, I'm going to ask our two guests this morning to come on from the SME space. Now, what we've got, first of all, it's of course Leko Baloyi, who's the CEO of Grateful Business. Leko, good to see you again. Thank you for being here.
Mike. Thank you so
and
much
of
for
course,
the
Heather
invite.
Whitfield, who's the founder and owner of Positive Plausibilities. Heather, please join me. Good to see you again.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Vignesh, and good morning, Leko.
Morning.
Yeah, no, we've got great stories. And what we're going to do to all our attendees out there, we're going to keep it's very lighthearted, it's positive. I'm going to bring a couple of questions to Vignesh, and then I'm going to alternate between Heather and Leko. And the focus of about SME business owners here this morning is really to understand their journey of success, how they overcome challenges, and of course to pass that inspiration on to all our attendees out there. Because you know what, as we always say, when you start a business, the honeymoon is over quite quickly, and we want to try and keep that honeymoon in place a little bit longer, and of course help our SMEs to stay there. But Vignesh, importantly, I'm going to start with you. To all our attendees, I apologize. I've got all these notes in front of me here, but I've been briefed this morning that I must follow the notes and not do anything else. So I'm going to kind of do that, because these kind of events are spontaneous. They're not pre-planned. It makes it a little bit more interesting and, of course, more fun. Now, Vignesh, Absa has been on a journey to support SMEs, a segment that has been particularly hard hit. Why is SME such an important segment for our economy and, of course, for Absa as a bank?
Absolutely, Mike. SMEs are the lifeblood of our economy. I think all of us know the stats, in terms of just the sheer, employment that comes out of SMEs, and also the contribution to GDP. As Absa, we strive to be an active force in everything that we do, and this includes how we show up to support small businesses. Really fully committed to supporting SMEs along their journey. We want to build strong relationships with them, and also, it's important for us to, build creative, innovative solutions that meet their unique needs. You would have seen in the video that we played at the beginning, we spoke about, the new propositions that we've launched, which is the emerging entrepreneur proposition, as well as the She Thrives proposition, which are aimed at two very specific customer, segments, which is the youth-owned businesses as well as women-owned businesses, women entrepreneurs. So we are on a continuous basis, building the right, solutions, innovative solutions, and bringing them to market, in supporting SMEs. We've done extensive work, last year in crafting these solutions and addressing the needs of women and youth entrepreneurs. Really great to see two women entrepreneurs joining us today as well online. So that's really awesome. But that's why it's so important for us in our journey to support SMEs, Mike, and really vital part of our strategy as Absa SME.
Thank you, Vignesh. Leko, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your business, of course.
My full name is Nonkululeko Baloyi, and I actually grew up in Nelspruit in Mpumalanga. And I come from a logistics and transport background, and I got into the IT industry about 4 years ago. And Grateful Business was born 2 years ago. So Grateful Business is a one-stop shop for business owners. We wanted business owners to be able to come to us regarding their IT needs, whether it's purchasing a laptop, setting it up, all the software that goes with it, because we wanted them to really focus on what they do best, which is what they know, their business, and for us to focus on everything else.
Okay, thank you, Leko. Heather, it's your turn. A little bit about yourself and your business, Heather.
Great. Hi, I'm Heather Whitfield. I grew up in a then called far northern Transvaal on a farm. And throughout my life, I have been surrounded with animals. And I just always had the inclination and to connect with animals. And many years ago, the opportunity came my way. And I saw there was a definite gap in the market for rehabilitation of patients. I myself went through a time period where I had to get some physiotherapy and hydrotherapy. And I just thought, why isn't there something like this for South Africa? And I started with a lot of research and consulted with every single vet what was available those years. And sadly, there was no courses in South Africa. I had two options to go and study. One was at the British Royal Veterinary College or the University of Tennessee. So I took the UK route. I came back, and 16 years ago, I started my practice. And it is just the most phenomenal industry ever. So in short, vets refer our patients to us, whether they have undergone orthopedic or neurosurgery, injury, trauma, whatever the case might be. And we've got a set of modalities that we help these animals to regain optimal function and mobility, not just while in the rehabilitation phase, but throughout the lifespan of their lifespan.
Heather, great story. I've read your story. Thank you for that. Now back to you, Vignesh. Why is the Absa Small Business Friday movement so important to Absa?
It really is a movement, isn't it, Mike? Probably, one of the largest movements that we have. It's so important for us because, as I mentioned earlier, businesses and entrepreneurs are a vital part of our strategy, and we really value the contribution that they make to our society. So we're always looking for unique ways to support them, both financially but also non-financially. Through our discussions with businesses, we found that sometimes identifying access to markets or gaining access to markets is a challenge for SMEs. And so we felt a responsibility to almost, support this movement in creating demand, towards small businesses. So how does it work? We really give the SMEs that sign up for, Absa Small Business Friday this way to create demand that, brings feet through their doors, because we reward Absa rewards customers, double earn when they spend at an SME on those Fridays. So it's twofold. There's a benefit for the consumer who purchases and spends by SMEs. You mentioned it right at the beginning, Mike. You go out every day and you make sure you support 1, 2, or 3 small businesses. So it gives the Absa customer a benefit for supporting SMEs, and then it also drives demand, towards SMEs. And so that's really the ask. Again, I know we'll ask this a few times today, but it's for everybody across the country to really just go out there today and support small businesses and SMEs. And that's why it's such an important movement for us, Mike.
You're 100% Vignesh. And, there isn't a leading brand around the world now that doesn't recognize that. And of course, the importance is so enormous. With small business, we know, it's tough out there for a small business to thrive and survive. So it's imperative to get more people through their doors to buy. And when a small business goes out of business, a family goes out of business, and the children don't go to school. So and that mom and pop store, it's such an important part of society to be able to go out there and support them. So thank you for that, Vignesh. Now, Leko, back to you. People want to hear this. What has been your biggest challenge so far, and how did you overcome that challenge?
I think, being in an online business and starting an e-commerce business where everything is very fast paced, you need to, process orders quickly. The biggest challenges on our side has been that, maybe there's stock is not available and it's being advertised as available, and errors on our prices and all of that, which is, a lot of operational issues we've had. But what we've learned from that is that it's so important to ensure that your systems are in order. You need to make sure that everyone knows what they're supposed to do. There's a process in place. They can actually go back and check, on your standard operating procedures on what is supposed to be done. How do you how do you upload pricing? A lot of training really for the staff is key, to ensure that you overcome some of these challenges. And then some of them, stock outages, there's a lot of things that are out of your control, that you have no control over, and you cannot spend a lot of time being depressed or sad about stuff like that, because it brings nothing into your life.
Absolutely, yeah, Leko. And Heather, I've got to ask you that same question. Your biggest challenge and how you overcame that, Heather?
So I think I can relate to what Leko was saying. So initially, when I started my business, I came back with the concept from Europe to build an underwater treadmill for animals. And I went from engineering company to engineering company, giving them all the facts and statistics and dimensions and everything that I've got. And every single person laughed at me. They said, "What silly idea is this?" And it was really that perseverance. And eventually I found a person in Cape Town who's in the construction industry who said, "Oh, well, let me try and do it." And it was really trial and error. And once the engineering companies could physically see what I had in mind, they said, "But we can do it." So I think that was a really, really big challenge. But also because of, or well, not because, but most of our equipment that we use, there's nothing available in South Africa. So we have to source equipment from the overseas market. And unfortunately, it's really expensive. So to constantly get that asset finance, and you have to plan it, and are you going to have your return on your investment at the end of the day? So it's really crucial and fine planning in the budget, doing your forecast. Is it going to be really worth it? Is it going to really benefit the patients? Is it going to benefit the business itself? And I think that initially, to get into that state of mind where you find yourself eligible for investment, but it is a process to get there.
Absolutely. Now, Vic, there's an important question here. What are some of the benefits for SMEs when using Absa merchant devices for Absa Small Business Friday and beyond?
Mike, as I was mentioning, earlier, it's twofold. So the first one is, by supporting those small businesses, we create also marketing collateral for the SMEs that sign up for Absa Small Business Friday, so that they can put that up in their shop fronts as well to show that they're participating. It's a clear indication to Absa Rewards customers that here is a participating SME. And so if I go here and I use their merchant machine to do this purchase, number one, I get double earn, but number two, I'm very deliberately supporting an SME that's part of this movement. And so we've also created some new innovations in the last year as well. We've made our mobile pay sort of sign-on process and sign-up process really seamless. This is a functionality where SMEs can accept payments, via their Android smartphone device, because we really understand that, cash flow, just as SMEs are the lifeblood of the SA economy, cash flow is the lifeblood of an SME. And so this ability to accept payments and get payments into the business, is such a critical aspect for all small businesses. And so these are just some of the ways in which, we're linking innovations to the overall movement as well to really get that demand and support, out there for SMEs, Mike.
Yeah, I think that's 100%. Cash flow is the lifeblood, as you say. If you've got cash, you can fix anything: marketing, IT, technology, you name it. So, wonderful point there. So, let's go back to you now. This is what we want to hear now. What would you say has been the formula for your success so far?
I think, success is a series of very small events that you do continuously, and that leads to success, and I believe that's been our, that's what we've done to ensure that we're successful. Continue doing the right things all the time, and just having the right team. It's very important to have the right people around you. I'm very blessed to have people that have been in the IT industry for decades, that are in this company, and also being innovative and really coming up with solutions that no one else has, putting together products to create solutions that are unique to your business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And Heather, your point from that, your success so far, what can you contribute that towards?
I would say, you know what, to us, well, to me, success is literally, it equals your business philosophy and your values. To link on with what Leko said, you know, what you repeatedly do is not an act, but it becomes a habit. And I just felt, you know, innovation is really, really a key aspect. You have to go out and you have to find opportunities. And just to quickly let you know, in terms of that, just through marketing collaboration, I was approached a couple of months ago by a TV producer. And she came in, she wanted to do a little bit of an insert on the business. And it actually developed into an 8-part series, which was subsequently sold internationally. And that has really, really just opened up doors. So as far as you go, if you can come back, and it was an opportunity that came our way, we grabbed it with open hands. But innovation is right there, key with it. And I think the next part is customer service. There is nothing more important than just being the best that you can be every single day. Do it repeatedly and let your customers become your friends. Because at the end of the day, that is what the business is all about. And you have to nurture those old customers. You have to find ways to bring in new customers, and you have to give them really, really awesome value for their money.
Absolutely, Heather. Now, Leko, let me ask you another question. And I know our attendees are really wanting to hear this. What advice can you give those who are about to become entrepreneurs?
I think the biggest thing is that it shouldn't all be about money. You really need to be passionate about what you do. You need to really love what you do, because the money is not always going to be there. You know, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs. And when the money is not there, you need to remember why you started. You know, it needs to be, a passionate thing that you are doing. And another thing is, as Heather mentioned, the quality of your service, it's very important. You can only advance by really more than fulfilling your space. That's the only way you can grow.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Leko. And of course, Heather, my same question. What advice can you give to those who are about to become entrepreneurs?
Oh, there's a number of things. But firstly, I think constant personal development, constant business development. Every single day, make sure you're on par with what is going on in your industry, whether it's technology-wise or product-wise. Know so you can have a proper conversation. And then also collaboration. I think it is such a vital part of growing any type of business. And, be resilient. You have to, as a small business owner or as a growing business, initially you have to put on the hat as the accountant, the marketeer, the admin person, the cleaning person. You have to fulfill all those roles. But there comes a stage where you have to really start working at your business, not necessarily in the business. And that could be quite tricky because it's your baby. You want to hold on to it for as long as possible. But you have to take that leap of faith to say, I can outsource this to another small business, or I can actually take hands with somebody who else can support me in what area it is that you need to.
Mhm.
And I think just to have yourself or on par yourself with team members that's got the same vision as what you've got.
Absolutely, Heather. Now, Vignesh, back to you. You touched on this earlier, Vignesh. Absa Small Business Friday is not only about SMEs. You also want to encourage all the consumers through the nation to get involved. Why is that so important?
Mike, we can't stress this enough. This movement, it really needs to snowball. Whether you're an Absa personal banking customer or not, our ask is go out and support, small businesses. And if you are an Absa customer and you're an Absa Rewards customer, you just get double earn, from an individual point of view. But the ask is really, it's broader than that. This is a movement. This is, you really build momentum as people, really latch onto this and drive it. So really the ask is for everybody as an individual to get involved in the Absa Small Business Friday movement and really go out there and support SMEs. And I think more importantly now, Mike, I think we know the kind of tough environment that SMEs have come out of over the last few years. And I think all of us have a responsibility to really go out there and support them through these, economic times that we're faced with. And really, as we see this, outlook as well, to really go out there and support SMEs. So that's really our ask for everybody. Join in the movement, make this a snowball effect, get as many people, your friends and family involved in the Absa Small Business Friday movement, and go out there and support small businesses.
Absolutely, Vignesh. We can't say more. It's just the way it is. And Leko and Heather, my final question to both of you, I'm going to ask you the same question. Why should South Africa support small business?
I think you've mentioned it a few times. It is small businesses are the lifeblood of the economy, and they really do contribute massively to the economy. And when a small business grows, the community grows.
Yeah. From my side, Mike, I really think for us, our clients are absolutely everything. Being passionate about your business, you really hear their pain points, and you will do everything to help them to succeed, whatever it takes. And I think that's not a connection that you're going to get in any other large company or a corporate company. It's that personal interaction that you've got. So, you want to sit and have a cup of coffee with your client. You really want to hear. You want to know about everything. And, once you've got that relationship going, you've got a repeat customer for life. And that is really what we want to do. And you have to nurture them.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Heather. Now, our team has posted something on your chat box here if you can have a look at. Download the image and spread the word. If I can encourage everyone to please download that image and splash it across all your social media platforms, and let's drive the nation. It's such an important task, and it's an important thing to do. Now, I know, Vignesh, there's a bit of repetition, but it's intentional repetition. And from another point of view, how can South Africa get more involved in the movement?
Mike, one of the easiest ways to show support is to spread the word. I think you've mentioned it just now. We must also be mindful that small businesses don't always have significant budgets for things like marketing or advertising, because we know that that can get quite expensive. Word of mouth is often their most powerful tool in reaching potential customers. So if you've purchased something from a small business or a woman-owned business or a youth-owned business, make sure to tell your friends and family about it. Post it on social media, post a positive comment, give a positive review. If your friends and family, recommend a particular product, you're more likely to trust them to make a good recommendation than an advert. So really this becomes in a way, it's a really indirect, great, really powerful marketing tool for small businesses as well. And that's really my ask to South Africa in how you can get involved on the movement. Thanks, Mike.
I've got a final question for you, Vignesh, because I really want our attendees to go out there and shop all day long at a local small business. But my final question to you, Vignesh, is from a brand perspective, do you believe that the Absa Small Business Friday movement will set you apart from the rest?
100%, Mike. We're all hands on deck behind the movement. As Absa, our purpose is to empower Africa's tomorrow together, one story at a time. The really inspirational story from Dudu and Bonang earlier from Relate. We're doing a lot of work to support businesses, not just financially, but non-financially as well. And Small Business Friday is a non-financial support mechanism, actually. And so this purpose really recognizes the power of collaboration in achieving our goals as we continue to work together, as a country. And so it's really we're 100% behind it, and we really believe that Absa Small Business Friday sets us apart from the rest in SA. Thanks, Mike.
Absolutely, Vignesh, from Absa to Absa brand